what do you think separates the very top players from maybe the ones just the level below? So I'm talking maybe the top 20, top 10 players in the world, maybe from those that are outside the top 100 or 200. Because people often say the most successful people are they're running towards something and they're running away from something, and they're also able to just completely focus on that one thing and be obsessed with it. I don't know if you notice those things when you've coached top players, or there are other things that maybe you think come into it.
Well, I'm a big believer that first we can go into the mental side and say, yeah, the different mentality, and I gonna get there. I feel that first, the weapons, they have
Mm.
weapons. Period. You don't see a top player really that doesn't have weapons. And with weapons, I'm not talking about a 130 miles per hour serve only, or a big forehand. Weapons, I can whatever is the IQ, tennis IQ. Kid, I mean, for example, let's go to Diego Schwartzman, for example. You say, well, what are Diego Schwartzman weapons? Well, first he has a really good backhand, but his tennis IQ is amazing, and then the how fast he is terrible. So with those two weapons, and then we go back to the mentality. Yes, now we go into the mentality. The kid, they have a dream, and they able. I was talking with the brain specialist, a researcher, and they told me that uh, they think different. They can the neurons, they work different. They're like, every neuron is way stronger. How you do that? So I say, well, if I want to develop a kid like that, how I do it? It just the brain, certain individuals, they just interest on something, and they keep reinforcing those neurons. And I'm explaining my way, right? Obviously, I'm not a researcher. I'm not a, but kind of that's what you see on the top players. The first thing, the weapons. You see Djokovic, the way that he moves, the way that he stretches, the way. Then yes, of course, he want to be the number one, and he spend more time and more quality time, which is the most important. It's not about the time. That's I feel that it's a misunderstanding about working hard and working smart.
Mm.
So they know how to work. They not only work hard, but they work really smart. They know, and they really accountable on every single repetition. That's something that you don't see. That's a huge difference. Every repetition counts. When we're talking about repetition, it's not just the shot. It's the shot. It's the movement going into the motion, during the motion, and the movement getting out of the motion. All that thing, every single detail counts. And every top players, they do it the same that way. That's a commonality about the top players. So uh, weapons number one, paying attention on every single detail, and the quality, being really accountable on everything, and the work ethic. I mean, you don't see any player when he's committed. What you could see, and there's a misunderstanding, uh, is that in the whole journey of a top player, you could see early on in the career not very focused, and like kind of losing focus, not be as committed. And then once that player is decided to be on top, then that you could see. But again, on those period that it wasn't committed enough, or it wasn't because he didn't want, it's because he or she didn't want, it's because they just happened to go through moments of more creativity, or the understanding wasn't there of certain areas. But once they committed and they understood what they needed to do, the work ethic, and how smart and how accountable they are on every step on their career is amazing.
Mm. So you think there is a small aspect of talent as well as the kind of work ethic needed to get there. This is always a debate that that happens not just obviously in tennis,
Yeah,
but in sport in general?
100%. So I had a conversation with Pepe Guerras, that is one of my mentor, and is my mentor, I would say. Back on the days when we worked together at the USTA, he always make it clear that hard work was beating talent by far. And I'm not. I mean, I say no, sorry, but I know that everybody want to hear that part, but for me, no. Talent is talent. Nothing replaces talent. Now, the key of that is not one or the other. Is have a talented kid working hard. That's that's how they become the best. I'm not saying that somebody that has, because, for example, when we're talking about talent, we're talking about somebody that has nice touch and move and hit smooth and great technique. No, you can work hard, and that's a talent. You can be focused for 4 hours, and that's a huge talent to have. So talent, again, sometimes when you talk with people, they have the tendency to think a little bit like very narrow about, okay, what is talent? What is hard work? What is no? So if you don't have a nice hands or not touch, but you can be focused 6 hours straight and do the same thing, very disciplined for 6 hours, that's a huge talent to have. So that's amazing. Same thing when we talk about intelligence. So we thinking that somebody read. That's why you say the street. You can be street intelligent. You can be book intelligent. You can be school intelligent. You can be emotional intelligent. Like there's many other aspects. It's not just one thing. And here is talent or hard work. Well, I would say, give me the talent. And if you want, we're talking about top players, because obviously everybody working hard, everybody can get to a certain level. Now, to get to the top, you need weapons, you need talent, and then that you need the hard work behind to back you up. But you need to have something. Otherwise you're not getting there. No, that's why I always say that's why it's only one Roger Federer. It's only one Novak Djokovic. Otherwise, we be always, how many Roger Federer? Well, we be like 3 millions of Roger Federer, and it's not. There's just one Roger Federer, one Novak Djokovic, one Rafael Nadal, and one Serena Williams. Is because they have that extra things, extra weapon, they see the ball different. They have that extra thing that nobody has it, and then they back up that with hard work.